Catherine, was beyond shocked to see the pooch acting aggressively toward the tyke, and was even more appalled when he picked her up by her diaper and tossed her behind him. After making sure Charlotte was all right, she realized that Con had been bitten by a keen brown snake that had been inches away from her daughter. Idris, while surfing, got caught in the jaws of a great white shark. Badly wounded surfer was saved from the shark coming back for seconds when a group of dolphins created a wall between him and the beast, allowing him and his friends to swim back to shore. Dick Van Dyke says, "It was a group of helpful porpoises who came to his aid when he accidentally dozed off on his surfboard." He claims to have woken up to discover he'd floated so far out on the waves that he could no longer see the shore. While attempting to paddle himself back, he saw fins and feared the worst. But instead of sharks, he says they were porpoises who kindly ushered him back to the beach. 78-year-old Australian farmer Noel Osborne slipped on manure while outside attending to his animals. The man who suffered a broken hip and became unable to move from his stinky situation for the next 5 days while waiting for someone to find him. He survived those days thanks to his goat, Mandy, who curled up with him during the cold nights and allowed him to drink her milk. 3-year-old boy decided to climb over the fence of the gorilla enclosure at the Brookfield Zoo. He fell 18 feet to the surface below. Benty the gorilla carefully cradled the boy and brought him to the enclosure's entrance. All while her own 17-month-old baby rested on her back. 12-year-old Ethiopian girl from when she was kidnapped from her village. After a week of being abused by the 4 men who had taken her hostage, 3 lions interfered and chased the men away. Police arrived soon after to find the young girl in shock, but unharmed by the big cats. The men who captured her were also found and taken into police custody. Brenda Owens was taking her pup Penny for a lunchtime walk when they noticed something unusual in the water, a wheelchair. Soon, they discovered an unresponsive woman bobbing nearby and, without knowing what else to do, Owens commanded her pup to fetch. Penny followed her order, jumping into the rocky waters and dragging the woman to safety. Rick and Mary Lane were on vacation at North Carolina's Indian Beach. While enjoying a lazy afternoon in his very own beach chair, the pooch suddenly began barking in a way his parents had never heard before. They were confused as he dragged his chair, which he was leashed to, toward the waves, and then they saw it. 2 elderly women were in danger of being swept away by an impending riptide. One had already fallen in, and the other, who was quite small, was straining to help her. 8-year-old Amber Mason became best friends with a 4-year-old elephant. She would take rides on the big guy every chance she got. On one of the last mornings of her holiday, she rushed down to the beach for one more ride, when a sudden tsunami struck. The devastating waves would have crushed the poor girl if she hadn't been softly on the back of her buddy, who rushed her to the top of the beach. Fiona Boyd, when she was attempting to relocate a dairy cow and her calf to a different paddock one afternoon. The territorial mom began attacking Boyd, rushing up to her and knocking her to the ground. Just when the farmer thought she was about to be smashed by the big mama, her horse Kerrygold marched up and kicked the cow away. Debbie Parkhurst was enjoying a nice apple snack one afternoon, when she suddenly began choking on an errant bite. Toby knocked her over onto her back and started pouncing on her chest, and soon her airway was free. One day while she was watching the little one, stepping away to use the bathroom for a moment, Megan suddenly heard the bird screeching, "Mama baby, mama baby." 2 words she had never heard him string together before. She rushed out to find the toddler choking on some food. The woman began suffering a heart attack, and after collapsing in pain, her husband away on a fishing trip, it was Lulu who saved the day. The pig managed to squeeze herself through the home's doggy door, suffering some cuts on her portly tummy, and stopped traffic by lying down in the middle of the road. Soon, a man stopped and followed her back to her home just in time to save Altsman from full-on cardiac arrest. The man, posing as a FedEx delivery guy, tried to shove himself through the front door. Both Becker and Kilo jumped into action, with Becker attempting to shut the door and Kilo attempting to bite the attacker. When the man wriggled himself free, he let out a shot from his gun that hit Kilo in the skull and ricocheted through his neck. After the excitement calmed down, Kilo was rushed to a nearby vet clinic, where he was able to make a full, miraculous recovery. When Yang Yun participated in a diving contest in which participants plunged to the bottom of a 20-foot deep Arctic pool to see who could stay submerged the longest, without any breathing equipment, she knew she was in for a struggle. But when she wanted to emerge from the waters, things got even more difficult due to crippling leg cramps. Luckily, one of the beluga whales observing the competition at the bottom of the pool gave her a lift. Simon Stegal's rabbit who came to his rescue in 2004. While his wife, Victoria, was in the kitchen, he had seemed to doze off in front of the TV, but in reality was suffering a diabetic reaction, unable to move or make a sound. Dory sensed his predicament and began anxiously hopping and fidgeting on his chest. Victoria soon noticed the odd behavior and realized what was really going on. She called for emergency assistance when she couldn't rouse him herself. Kathy Kiesling, her husband, and their teenage son, from carbon monoxide poisoning when a water pump malfunction in their basement created a leak in the middle of the night. Winnie sensed the change in air and rushed to Kiesling's bed to wake her up. Her husband and son were completely unconscious by the time she found the strength to keep herself upright long enough to dial 911.